You got to do this at the beginning so you can have a good thumbnail. Hello, everybody. I'm Derek, the Chocolate Botanist, and I'm about to take a walk. But before I do that, make sure there's nothing crazy on my face. Before I do that, hey there, Hondo, Niche. Y'all know what to do. Share this. I am going to be, hey, Storm. I'm going to be doing, again, a quick walk to the store, but I wanted to chat with y'all and show y'all what's going on in my patio. And before I show you what's going on my patio, I need all of you to type, I will not judge Derek. I am not going to judge, because here's what happened, right? I had been going through some go-through, all right? And it looks like something's been going through my planters up here. And my planters, thank you for acknowledging my locks. Hey, Black Seed Exchange. Look at my hair, by the way. Look at this. Like, wow, whoa, whoa. Before I show y'all the patio, I almost forgot what I was doing here. Before I show you the patio, you have to type, you will not judge. Here we go. We got one. We got a chair right here. Okay. Because here's what has happened. It's been a long winter. I've been going through some depression. Okay. All of us can get depressed from time to time, right? I go through it. You go through it. We go through it together. And the biggest thing for me, as you all are still, nobody's typing, we will not judge Derek. I need you to type, I'm not going to judge you before I show the stuff. I'm going to show this patio, right? So I've been going through some depression. The job market sucks, right? Working and acknowledging that I am not getting what I should be getting for the level of skill set I have and give, right? And the amount of learning I can do is horrendous. But I wanted to show you all my patio because I do this every year so you all can know how it looks with me as a whole botanist, right? I know there's some people who will show you beautiful yards and beautiful designs. That will never be me right now, okay? But this is what the patio looks like, okay? So we're going to start over here because this looks a little better. So, hey there, Wine and Mama. Hey there, Rissa. So I got this cabbage collard I need to harvest some off of. And I told y'all I was going to harvest some of these. I might do that later. I have a bunch of lilies. Those of you who've been watching me for a while know I have lilies that come back every year. And I moved some of them up here. This is some chickweed, which is edible. You can tell this is all drying out. This is some type of herb, maybe a sage or something. Yes, buying badges. I always forget I have that on. But now I'm going to show you the rest of the patio. The rest of the patio looks horrendous. Why? These are failed projects. Okay. I did give you a, hey, will you hold on a second? Storm, I did give you. I was like, hey, you probably didn't hear it. Okay. Because you probably had the cheering. You know, you somebody's mama. You several somebody's mamas. You had somebody's pet mama. Okay. You had a lot of people probably trying to talk to you and you missed me saying, hey, so let me say it again. Hey, how you doing? You know, it's funny people can call you out, but they don't call you anymore. But I'm not going to say much of nothing. I'm not going to be that person today. Anywho, patio. We're talking about that. So, failed projects, right? I just need to clean this area up. And I'm just going to need help with this because I'm not going to be able to do this myself this year. I'm not going to even try. I have my mojito mint, which is coming back over the patio. I have these two that are just looking worse for wear. I want to make it like an automatic watering system, but I'm not sure about doing that. I have apple mint, a little bit of that's coming back. Random tomatoes that are coming up. The tomatoes I've done in the house are looking a little rough. We're going to show you all them in a second, right? And I have some oregano. Speaking of tag you in, there's a corner, there's a fig, and this fig, you know, they say God, there was a church that used to say God hated something else that started with an F, but God apparently didn't like my fig because that's dead. I told this person who dropped it off at my house, I had COVID when they dropped it off, I said, please no, I'm just going to have to like get you another fig, get you a cutting or something, and I'm probably going to have to do that, Carissa. This elderberry, which fell off the patio, hey Steve, and a bunch of other failed projects, right? I show off this patio not to showcase a mess, but I want you all to see that, again, everything can look rough. This could be cleaned up. A lot of stuff just needs to be thrown away. And it's something that I just am going to have to do. Like, I need to give a lot of stuff away in the house. So this is what happens. I try not to give Sanford and Son. When I do my plants like this and when I do stuff for other people, I make it look nice. But for me, I have a lot of great hope. I want to compost a lot of stuff. I want to do a lot of things. And I just need to let it go. Let it go. So that's the patio. Hey there, KSJ Daddy. So let's see, we got about 11 people up here. This is a good number. This is a good number of people. So that's the patio. That's the updated patio. I need to water plants. And I need to figure out my watering schedule, because now that I work nights and I work, like, I would have to water like early in the morning before I leave, or like try to risk it for the biscuit to come out here late at night. And with all the stuff I got out here with bugs and stuff going on, I don't really do roaches. So walking out, seeing the water bugs walking around out here at night, they can have it. I'm not going to do none of that. So that's the outdoor life. Let me show y'all these seedlings, and I'm going to do a video on this. I can't wait to see upgrades grow. Look, lovely last year. It did look a little lovely last year. So these are one set of tomatoes, and they are dampening off. And what happened was, it looked like the soil was so dry, so I watered it, and I think I watered it heavier than I needed to, and I always do this. You're never naming anything else. Chloe Harvey. We're going to get you a Chloe Harvey. This is going to have a silent 2 in the number. And then this is another tomato. These are the purple ones, the GMOs. All of them dampened off except for like 2. So I'm grateful. I've also had some stretching because of the lights I use. And that's because the grow lights I use, like this one cuts on at random times. Eventually, I'm going to tell y'all who I got this from, because I bought 2 and I think they're like cross signaled. So when I cut this one on with the remote, it cuts that one off and vice versa. And then I can never get them to be like sync on the same time, because I want them to go from like 7, 8 in the morning till about 8 hours later, which would be about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and it just doesn't do it. So it's light issues, and I'm talking to a friend about like different light colors. I want to talk more about that because I've forgotten everything about light colors. And just as a simple like aside, when it comes to like showcasing lights for your plants, the color of light you have can influence how your plants grow, how they look, right? Like as far as color is concerned, and that's indoor and outdoor. I'm not going to go deeper into it because I cannot remember like the specifics. I could just tell you the overview right now. But that's where it looks like. I got a lot of the plants in here. I need to clean up this apartment. But we're not going to talk about that right at this moment. So this is your chance as I take a walk and just randomly, spill out words on the internet. This is your chance to talk to me and ask me any questions you have. I am a whole plant biologist. I like to come up here weekly and talk. Speaking of that, I need all of you to type the word podcast. I'm supposed to be announcing this, and I keep forgetting. I am starting a podcast. All of you, please type the word podcast. I am starting a podcast. It is me and a friend, Stephen Jonty, who is your local plant biologist. He is a phenomenal soul who, Lord, I would choose today to walk when they're doing all this stuff. Hey, Audrey, I want to say, so y'all, I'm going to talk about Audrey real quick. She didn't expect for me to talk about her. If she's still here, I'm going to do it. Let's see if she's still here. She is. So, hey there, Thomas. I'm going to talk about you too, but we're going to talk about Audrey real quick. So when I met Audrey, I worked at the Medicago, right? And she was coming in to replace the outgoing director of biomass. And when I met her, I'm going to be real. I did not know how I would like her per se, because I had some biases on the people I worked with, because I felt like people looked at me as foolish or unlearned due to how I look and how I act, and they don't always see the science I do. Because I'm jovial, because I am charismatic, and I'm not some stuffy scientist, people look at me a certain type of way. And of course, blackness and all this, right? And I've ran into a lot of issues with racism in my past. But really getting to see her, and I don't even know how you found me on Instagram. I don't even know how you found me on Instagram, but getting to see her join, and she left. I don't know if she thought I was going to talk bad about her, but getting to see her interact with me and speak life into me, she has proven herself to be a true blue person. And she didn't have to do that. She only met me maybe once or twice online, and it's just stunning to me how she's been supportive, especially as we were all laid off. So I value that in her. I guess since she left, because I can see who's in here. I want y'all to know I can see who's in the room. So I'm guessing I'm going to tell her later since she left. But I'm going to be starting a podcast, y'all. We're jumping back onto it, and I'm going to talk about Thomas. Melanated Botany is the name of the podcast with me and my good buddy, Stephen Jaunty. And what we're going to be doing is talking about blackness and plants and cultivating those conversations. There's a speech, little verbiage I made up, and I can never remember it now. And I made it up. We're cultivating conversations around blackness, plants, and something else. I don't remember. But either way, it's good to see you too, Thomas. So we're going to be doing that. That podcast is going to be dropping, I believe, in May. And you'll be able to see us. We're going to be talking. I want y'all to support this. There's a lot of you who have asked a lot of things out of me. You've asked me to do merch that barely sells. You've asked me to do podcasts and be on things. And I do appreciate those of you who do support me. But I need, big time support. So it's going to be a beautiful thing. And I would love to, as it grows, to invite some of you to join. You do not have to be a plant biologist or a scientist at all. Just a person who is most likely black and brown, and a person who, we'll have some white people up there, but a person who can, you better be in the 3 days. That's funny. Speaking of that, you can't buy t-shirts right now anyway, because I got to change something on the website, and Derek will be tired, but we are here with it. So again, I may be calling on some of you to join, to chat, and to have a conversation. But again, it's me, Derek the Chocolate Botanist. I am a plant biologist, and I know a lot of different things. I've done a lot of different work. Sometimes when I really sit and think about all the things I can do, from the botanical and running greenhouses and the pharmaceutical and writing and editing SOPs and doing change control documents and non-conformances and all that stuff, to writing and yearbook work and journalism and photography, and I edit my own stuff, and I can create things and make documents look nice and do design elements and do this thing on social media and speak and create presentations and make them look stunning and informational, answer questions. There's a lot of things I can do. So it is what it is and ain't what it ain't. Can you talk more? Can I talk more about the podcast? Okay. Side note, Thomas, I got my lilies growing. I don't know if you saw the beginning of the video. He was floored when I showed him I had my daylilies coming up, because he was like, well, Derek, I've heard him talk before, but I'm making an accent. Well, Derek, I don't see how you have daylilies growing in only that much soil. Oh, that's what he said. And I was like, bro, don't blame me, blame Jesus. Hallelujah. But we're going to keep going. Podcast. So, hey there, Crest Gecko Gardens. This podcast, Melanated Botany, came from a conversation. So me and this man named Stephen Jaunty have conversations all the time. We've been talking for roughly, 2 or 3 years. We met through the LinkedIn. And again, I used to work at a place called Medicago, USA. And it was a beautiful time. And he met some of the people that worked at the Canadian site, the main site. And he was like, I don't know what drew him to look at my profile. I don't know if he's like, oh, black guy. But he would have to talk more about that. And we talk about it on the podcast, actually, in the first episode. But we had a lot of conversations. And our conversations range from so many things. So, what's it like being a black and a botanist? And, trying to find a job and trying to keep a job and trying to be respected by our white peers and superiors, right? Trying to make sure I'm being heard. And I'm not told I'm being aggressive or overly assertive, because I've been told that I was being aggressive and combative. I've been told that several times, even in interviews, that I was being combative, right? And trying to even find jobs and prove to people that I know what I know, because I'm black. And I've seen people who gotten jobs who were not black, who were non-melanated, and they just got in and they didn't know a thing. But we're not going to talk about that. So we had conversations, and I think Steven mentioned we should do a show. Like, we should collaborate together. And he named like 5 or 10 different ideas of collaborations, business ideas with plants and breeding and other stuff like that. I was like, well, that would be great, but you're up north, I'm here in the south. Like, there's only so much we can do together. And when he mentioned the podcast, I was like, well, hey, I mean, with the magic of technology, we could do that. So we reflected on it. Is this still greasy? There we go. Yeah, okay, I think that's better. We reflected on it, and we reflected on it, and we reflected on it. I hope y'all are still here. If y'all are still here, throw some hands up, some hearts or something. And we said, let's get like a real deal podcast started. So we came up with the name Melanated Botany. Hey there, Rissa. We came up with the name Melanated Botany, and we knew we just wanted to do what we do best. We're letting you into conversations that he and I either have had or do have. And some of our conversations can be deep and hard-hitting because we have a lot of the same botanical experiences, but we have a lot of different botanical experiences, right? Trying to make sure my charger's charging my phone. Now this is strange. Don't tell me I'm going to turn all the way back around. Y'all still here? Wow, this is dead. We're just going to go, and then once I get to 20% in battery life, because this was like had 34th charged, and now it's showing as dead. That is very aggravating. It's okay. We're going to keep going. Let me go ahead and cross the street. Are y'all still here? If y'all are here, there we go. I got people that are joining. But if y'all are still here, do some hearts or something. So that's why we started this podcast. And again, it's an opportunity for us as Black biologists to have a conversation, especially when it comes to things like genetically modified organisms. I know there's a lot of non-qualified people who will, thank y'all for giving the hearts and stuff. There's a lot of non-qualified people who will get on the internet and tell you why genetically modified organisms are bad. And they talk about nothing that's real. They talk about things that are made up, something that Dr. Seavey said, and they'll talk about that. They'll tell you about medicinal botany, and they'll tell you like allegory of what the plants can do, but they don't talk about anything realistic, right? And that's where we wanted to speak truth to life. So it will air, I believe, next month. We're supposed to be dropping them in May. I believe the seasons will be 15 episodes. And here's the big thing. If this takes off in even the slightest way, 5 or so listens an episode, I'm going to keep doing it. We'll keep doing it. We'll keep talking. We'll keep conversing. And we'll do something similar to other podcasters I do, where we'll do a live show where we'll talk live. Before we do that, me and Steven need to get our conversations better. So get more better prepared with like a live show. But we can do that too. We go live on a Patreon, a YouTube. You throw $1 or $2 our way, we holler. And we talk about any of the topics you want to talk about. Right? Native plants, non-native plants, global warming, the seasons shifting so bad. It's not really botany, but it's related. Them changing the USDA zones, what does that mean? Right? Poison ivy. Why black people like butter pecan? Why do older black women, okay, and P First, aka Black Seed Saving Collective, she's an older black woman. Is it just you become an older black and you just love butter pecan? Because I don't like it. Lord, I'm going to have to walk by 2 geese. And we just cut through the grass here. I feel like fighting geese today. I remember one time a goose tried to run up here and took my belt off and knocked it back. You like pralines and cream? You know why you like pralines and cream? Because you're young. But once you hit about 36, Rissa, I think them pralines gonna turn into pecans. You're gonna look down one day in shock. You're going to be watching. You're going to be watching Waiting to Exhale. And while you singing Shoot with Whitney, you're going to look down and be like, where did all these pecans come at in my ice cream? But, I'm too much. Anywho, we can talk any of those topics. And eventually me and him are going to get on the live, I think next week. And we're going to talk more about this show and what we want to do. We'll have a Patreon where you can see like some of our bloopers and out reels. And again, for a Patreon especially, we will show potentially some commentary that I don't want the rest of the world to see. Because there's sometimes, especially those of you that have been following me for a while or you know me in person, I can be a little risque. I can throw together some X-rated commentary on the plants. Okay, I'm not going to take it back, rest. So there's going to be one day you're going to be listening to 703. You're going to be singing Stilo, okay? You're going to be like, they don't make good music like they used to. You're going to look down. Look down. You're going to have on a slip. You're going to have on a slip and a tub of Breyer's butter pecan ice cream. In a circle. Look, in a circle. You gonna be doing. So this is where I'm telling y'all. We're gonna be chit-chatting and chitter-whacking, and it'll be your opportunity to connect with people. There's things I want to showcase. Hey, Stacy. Stacy, I'm taking a walk. Stacy, did you join because you're in my neighborhood? Stacy, do you eat butter pecan ice cream? So many questions, Stacy. I've just asked you in 3 minutes. Please answer them all. If you don't answer them all, somebody's going to kidnap me and it'll be your fault. Anywho, I am prone to hyperbole. I am a little prone to embellishment a little bit. But this is where that Patreon will come in, where you'll be able to see things first. Once we establish an audience, and you'll be able to see yes, yes, no. Dang, I forgot the questions. Let me see. Hey, Stacy. No, the last one was no, so you don't like butter pecan ice cream. Are you coming to me? Okay, great. I think those were the answers I needed. Amen. So, yeah, that's what this podcast is going to be about. You'll be able to hear my melodic tones and Steven's deep voice. And eventually we'll do the characters we do. Magoo may make an appearance every so often. He has a character, I think his name is Jacques, who speaks French. Steven speaks French, y'all. English is not his first language. And I need him to really promote that more. Because English is my first language, and I'll be messing up the pronunciation of a lot of words. I think it's coming from the 252. Something about the air and the atmosphere in the 252. It just really makes me want to say words however the ham sandwich I want to say them. Something about coming from New Bern, North Carolina. It makes me just want to say these words in whatever way I want to say these words. The geese are everywhere, y'all. The geese are everywhere. The geese are just all out and about. There's like 2 of them over there. Be careful. If they attack you, I can't help you. I'm sorry. She's laughing. I'm serious. If they go for her, all I can say is, Jesus, touch her right now. Ebo shot out. That's all I got. So, what questions y'all got for this black botanist while I walk into the Walmart? Because once I walk into the Walmart, I'm probably going to lose signal. So what questions y'all got for me? Hey, there's Sylvia Dab. I hope that answers Thomas's question. Is he even still here? Thomas asked me the question about the podcast and then left. See, this is what happens, okay? People ask what they want to ask. I was about to say something else. This is where we need a Patreon, because I would go a little bit rougher. We don't speak incorrectly. Other people just ain't caught up. Amen. How to compost in a city. Sylvia, the person below you, Josie said it best, Bokashi. You can also get, what is that thing called? One of them indoor composters. Depends on how much money you got. You can get one of the regular ones where it's like a little ceramic or glass or metal tote. You put the plants in and you go for what you know. They have electric ones where it's not really composting, it's just dehydrating and grinding down. I can never think of a good way to put it until just now. It's dehydrating and grinding down the vegetables and your food scraps. But bokashi, you can do everything, including grease and milk. You can only do so much grease and oil. Oh God. There we go. Stacy, are you still here? Stacy, can you text our sister Erica and let her know I'm live? And that's why I can't answer her WhatsApp. You know, Yvette, the people in my life just cut on their notifications for me. I would be all right. Well, okay, so we answered that one. Can you cover grass replacements? Like for your garden, you can do, there's some native grasses you can do, native to the Americans, that are less water taking. I hope y'all can still hear me. There's some grasses you can do that's less water requirement. They have less water requirement. But I haven't gone too deep with like deep diving into like what I could use to replace the grasses in my yard. I've heard of creeping thyme, right? I was going to mention that. I was like, I have never done it. Because while I hear good things about it, I've never done it. Now, Josie, if you've done it and talk about it, please, you know, talk about it. If you want to join the live and talk about it, you're more than welcome. But it's not something that I have a lot of familiarity with. I personally think if you have like a lot of yard and you can do a raised bed, then do a raised bed, right? Because that raised bed, the water you're putting in for that is actually giving you something in return, food, right? Or fresh flowers, fresh cut flowers. So, bingo bongo. What are the questions y'all got for me? I'm trying to find a tea kettle in here again because my tea kettle is broken. And I've had that tea kettle. Actually, Carissa, I think I bought that tea kettle when me and you lived together. I might have bought it even right before that time of my life. Boom. Let me just tag her so she can know. I can't talk on the phone because I'm up here. It works like grass, but it is a very thick. That's good to know. Let me come and see what water bottles they got here. Ooh, this is a tough water bottle. This is what happens to me, y'all. I come in here and I get distracted. Do 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 do. I do 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 do. Let's see. What other questions y'all got? I think it smells pretty good when you walk on it. Now, I would imagine it smells delicious when you walk on it. I don't even know where they put the tea kettles in here anymore. I'm just going to walk up and down the Walmart aisles until I find it. Any other questions? Again, I'm a whole plant biologist. I talked about the podcast that me and Steven are doing. We're going to talk more about it in the future. For those of you who missed it, I can go into it again, but I really don't feel like it. So please just like skip through the video when it comes on. Let's see. And I'm trying to find me a tea kettle while I'm in here. I do enjoy making tea when I get home. And now that I'm back brewing kombucha. For those of you who followed me for a very long time, you can probably remember back in the day. Here we go. Whew, found it. Back in the day, I used to brew like nobody's business. So much kombucha, so many sodas, so many things, right? And I don't do that anymore. And I stopped for various reasons. So I'm back at it. Veronica, are you here? Hey, Veronica, are you still here? Hey, Veronica. The Coastal Landscape Initiative has recommendations for native plant replacements for common plants. Bingo bongo. So that actually would make sense that between them and the, side note, I want this kettle, but it has no price on it. I don't know if I take it up there, they're going to be like 2 years before they tell me how to do it. This is 3.2 quarts. How many quarts are you? I really want this one. Any way to get community gardens a legal requirement? There should be community space and planting. Composting is a right. Here's the thing about that. I don't know this to be true, but I feel like community gardens, foraging, and all of that stuff have been outlawed and kind of fought against as a way to come against those who are financially insecure or housing insecure. because if you have your own house and your own land, unless you have an HOA, which is also, I think, rooted in racism, you can grow whatever the ham sandwich you want, right? But when it comes to maybe I should do this instead of a regular tea kettle, one of these glass ones. We'll see. I'm gonna think about it. Anywho, when you are considering those, I think that's why they block them. Because if everybody had a community garden and everybody had these green spaces they could go to and everybody could find peace, then the black folks would not think they were less than, right? They would believe that they were equal to white counterparts who don't want them to feel that way, who could get good fresh food shipped in from wherever because they have the money. So the best way I could think about it is to join, and there's a woman in Tennessee, I cannot remember her name, but she is a politician, and my best suggestion to you would be to figure out how to do grassroots efforts to join your local political schema, and to figure out how to be an influence. So either join it yourself or be an influence. Huber Moonwalks, I am, you are, hey monstrous daddy, there's so many people. Hoarding your land is real. Hoarding your land is real, right? Because I just drove by an area, this was maybe 10 to 20 acres that was 2 houses, right? 2 old country houses, I think one of them had meat. I haven't driven in this area in a while, right? Maybe a couple of months. I drove down this road, I look over and it's all bulldozed down to make all of this housing, this multi-million-dollar housing. 3 liters, but this is instant. How about this? Should I get an electric kettle or a regular tea kettle? The regular tea kettles can do more water, but I have to wait for that water to heat up. But the electric kettle I'm looking at, you can actually do the tea in this one. They also have this one, and then, which is 1 liter, but I don't want the 1 liter. If I'm doing anything, it needs to be close to 2 liters so I can get a lot of water done. And hey there, Mary. Mary, I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays. And it's literally been a whole different lifetime for me. So while y'all are answering that, what other questions y'all got for me? Electric kettles are the best. There we go. That's all I needed. I was already going to do it. Let the truth unveil. Is it BPA free? This is a glass, I think. And it has an infuser, and it doesn't say BPA free. It's a glass kettle. There we go. So that makes sense. Making tea in a kettle is sketchy, though. What do you mean it's sketchy? You're going to have to tell me why. You can either tell me here in the comments or we can talk about it on the phone. I do enjoy a kettle just because I like to make tea, just random teas. Sometimes I'll make a coffee or a hot cocoa, and I'll just use a good tea kettle just to go ahead and heat everything up. Oh, they got this KitchenAid spatula for $3. I'm gonna get that. Some people may say, do you need it, Derek? And to those people I say, hush. Well, I'm too much. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Looking to see what they got in the clearance section. I always come here and get random vitamins they got. Gotta make sure they're not random women's vitamins. This is why we shop online. Pepto PM gummies. Ooh. Upset stomach, indigestion, heartburn. They don't have the unsleeplessness because it has melatonin. So if your stomach is hurting, and you find it hard to sleep, Lord, get you one of them. Let's see. Heating water is enough. It is. There we go. Something about that whistling of a teapot and me showing off, this makes me feel good. Love and affection. So what other questions, comments y'all got? I'm a plant biologist. Those of y'all who are maybe joining me for the first time, I be talking about anything. I'm here in the Walmart. I came to get a tea kettle and just to see what's in the clearance section. You know, if my mama could go back in time and rename me because I like cheap stuff so much, she'd name me Clarence because I like the stuff on clearance. Ooh, I'm too much. Okay. Now the changes. Thoughts on mushroom soil. I don't know what you mean by mushroom soil. Are you talking about soil that was used for like mushroom compost? Are you talking about that? Is this something new I don't know about? My love, my love. That man I was just looking at. Y'all remember he's hiding in your windows. He's snatching your people up. I just walked by a man who looked just like that kid, that man. Antoine. That was his name. I can't show y'all though. But this is why I shouldn't come to the store by myself. Because I hate going to the store, but then I start getting like, ooh, let me check on all of these things. Let me see, I got this. I don't think I need anything else. I should get those Bush's beans though. But I'm also gonna have greens. I don't need all of that. Mushroom soil. So I'm waiting on your response. What plants like disco music? Any groovy plants. So plants with grooves in them. That likes disco plants. And to piggyback, coal soil. Anything with charcoal would be decent for like pots that may have standing water. But I would use that more like on the bottom. I've used some soils with charcoal in it because it's supposed to like purify the soil and all this other stuff. But I typically try not to use like standing water. If your water sources are a little like suspect, like if you don't trust your tap water, then I would use that with the charcoal. You would name me McClellan, please do. Compost, yes, mushroom compost, I've used that before. I love it. It loves me. We love each other. The mushroom compost is a good, I don't just plant straight in it, so I'll mix it with, y'all know I mix my own soil up, so I'll mix it with other soils, but it's beautiful to me. So I'll say yes. Any tips for growing grass in a really dry climate like Colorado? Find your native grasses that can handle the world you live in, right? If you find these native grasses that are used to that climate, then they'll be able to handle it and not need as much water. You'll still need something to probably set them up, but that's it, right? So, bingo bongo. Somebody says growing for food. I have used mushroom compost in planters that I've grown food in, but it's not been a consistent part of my life, I guess if that's the way to put it. So I'll use earthworm castings, vermicomposting, I'll use mushroom compost, I'll use regular compost. Any of them I think are beautiful. And for the mushrooms, we don't know, mushroom compost are like the leftover bits of like mushroom production, right? Excuse me. So sometimes if you know a place where they are growing mushrooms, you get those leftover boxes or bags, you can get them if they're like fresh enough, quote unquote, where you can still grow like another flush of mushrooms in your stuff. Or you can again get the stuff that's like super duper spent and go from there. Oh, I thought that was a friend I know. That's not her. Let's see, This is a used mushroom farm here. Gonna go see about it. See about that mushroom farm and tell me about it. Because I want you to find this plug. And if they got a plug here, let me know. Because mushroom compost, again, it's just leftovers. And it's already broken down because the mushrooms that they were using to harvest broke down the stuff that, it broke down the things we were already, it broke down the soil or that substrate, whatever it was, whether it was wood chips or corn, it's already pretty much broken down. So, somebody smells like milk. Y'all know like when children have to have milk on them, like young children, somebody smells just like milk. Anywho, is mushroom compost acidic? I'm not sure off of hand. I feel like it wouldn't be like overly acidic, but I don't know its exact pH. I think it would depend on what species and substrate it was, and like the processing of it. I did want some ice cream. Y'all hold on a second. I wanted some ice cream. Let me put this tea kettle down. Hey, canna sommelier. When you a sommelier in the canna, you just like circle it around before you smell it. Let's see what they got here. I was looking for Talenti, but it looks like they moved it. Okay. Compost isn't acidic. I think it should be rather neutral. I would think if it's mature. I would think the same thing. Butter pecan. I'm not getting no butter pecan ice cream. I am not a black woman, so I am not getting the butter pecan ice cream. Not to say it's only for black women, just older black people. We got to get free of the butter pecan. We're going to get free of that today. They got caramel cookie dough. I don't want that. I just want a regular cookie dough. While I'm looking for stuff, y'all ask me more questions. Cookie milk ice cream. I don't like that when they have the brownie batter. Some of these ice creams look like they were kicking them before they put them in here. This is amazing what they do at the Walmart. Their ice cream always is covered, Jesus, in ice. And I always wonder how that happens. Black walnut. Excuse me. I'm glad I looked up because I was going to say something that was going to be very risque. There was a child back there. But if you've known me, you can assume what I was about to say about this black walnut. I can't stand that ice cream. Blame Jim Crow for the popularity of blood pecan ice cream. Thank you. Bingo, bingo. So, hello. That man was real happy for me to be on Instagram. He was all in my face smiling. Jesus. If you're going to be smiling that hard at me, give me $10. 3-piece pizza kit. Wow. Now, granted, I don't need that, but I want it. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. We got to get out of here. We got to go. We got to go. Fruit decorating kit. I want that too. I think it's because I'm a little bit like low-key hungry. And I took some beef down so I can cook it, but I also want a pizza, y'all. I also want a pizza. And I feel like if I get a pizza from over there, I can cook it and go from there. I'm going to leave this stuff right here. I'm going to get me a pizza real quick because y'all have talked me into it. Y'all can't see the comments. Hey, Kiki. How you doing, Kiki? Y'all can't see the comments, but one of y'all convinced me to go get this pizza. Okay. I see it. Go for broke, Derek. Thank you, Josie. I appreciate you for supporting me in my efforts to buy this pizza. I shouldn't have came here with a light hunger on my chest. This is what happens. And they got this extra large pizza and it's $6.50. $6.50. You say don't let that pizza lie there, Josie? I got you. I see you, Josie, and I appreciate you supporting me. It is good. They, when they made that gospel song, You Got a Friend in Me, they were talking about you, Josie. You got a friend in me. Do-do. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't remember the rest of the lyrics. Let me put this other stuff down. I've been holding this dead charger in my hands that was working until I plugged it up. This charger completely died on me. I'm going to be real sad. Hey, y'all who are joining in. I'm in the Walmart and I am buying a pizza because Josie, also known as PFIRSCH77, told me to buy this pizza. And I'm glad you agree, Carissa, buying the stuff. I see you understand. Ooh, there we go. Y'all, I got to remember, I'm the tall person now. I almost took out this kid in front of me. Okay, none of them lights are on. Let's come this way. There we go. I'm noticing lights are going off on all of these things. I'm so confused. What are the questions y'all got for me while I sit here and wait to order this pizza? Again, I'm a whole plant biologist who just bought a whole pizza because I don't have people in my life to let me not do things that are wild like this. I don't have anybody to hold me accountable for the things I do, and I just do things. And this is all y'all's fault I'm getting this pizza. I didn't pick up the rest of the stuff I wanted though, so y'all welcome. Any other questions, comments, or concerns y'all got for me before I jump off of this live? I've been up here for about a hot 40 minutes. Look at Jesus. Let's go to this one. No? All right. Well, I should wait a little longer, huh? Because I think the delay between me asking y'all a question and y'all responding has gotten longer. Plus, see, some of you probably have to type out. I sometimes be like, I wonder if they're typing. You know what? Yes, it's added protection. I wonder if they're typing while I am. Boom, there we go. I wonder if they're typing when I get off. And they send a question right as the people are going off of the live, because I've done that before. That says $3. That's $3. Good deal. So, do I worry about spider mites on my plants? It's not necessarily a worry I have too much, but it is something that can happen. So when I see a problem with any pest, I will, there we go. I'll just treat the house. And that could be like fungus, gnats, or any disease or anything like that. I don't often get spider mites, and I do have some elephant ears, several elephant ears in the house, several things that are in the aeroid family in the house. So I'm not truly worried. But, hey, no. They want me to round up to the nearest dollar to fight hunger, and that's why I got this pizza, to fight hunger. So I don't often worry about spider mites or mealybugs. I've had them once with a banana I had. If y'all have been following me a long, long time, I used to have a big banana in my house. This is why I need a Patreon. When they comments like that so I can go off on the deep end. But my big banana in the house was like 10 feet tall, up in the sky. And text message to, almost started reading my phone number out. I almost gave all of you people my phone number. There we go, continue. I want to say 5 out of 5. Bingo bongo. So, hold on a second while I put this stuff in the box. Stuff in the box. Stuff in the bag. I had to get up here and show this person my receipt. It's going to be real sad because I'm going to have to hang up with y'all. Hello, you too. So, I don't worry about the mealybugs and stuff. Let's see. Scroll up. 777-9311. You better be showing your number. Now, dial that number, y'all get it. Oh, God, I don't know how I cut that off. Lord, it must be the Holy Ghost fire on me. Is your podcast going to be on Instagram or another platform? It'll be on YouTube and various podcast platforms. So whatever, you get your podcasting wherever you can see a podcast. I'm praying and hoping to get it up there. Just do like this. There we go. So I'm trying to figure out how to cut myself off. No, there we go. So, bingo bongo. In podcasting, I had to figure out how to get that off. Hey, Black Soul Sister. Podcast's going to be everywhere. We're definitely going to have it on the YouTube because it's going to be video and then the audio elsewhere. How did my bananas do growing indoors? They did beautifully until the mealybugs came, or the spider mites. Whichever one makes the webbing. I get them mixed up all the time. Whichever one makes the webbing. There we go. Until that happened, they were doing beautiful. Once all that webbing came up, they went downhill fast. They went down quicker. Let's see, what could I say that's appropriate? They went down quicker. You know, I talked about the Republicans on the last post, one of the last posts I made, and I pissed people off. I'm just going to leave it there. But my bananas did beautiful. I took them outside during the summer. So, during like the spring, summer, basically, once the temperatures, like the last frost happened and temperature wasn't going to drop anymore, I took them outside and they would just sit and grow all year. And I used to take a couple of, all my houseplants outside before I started doing more plants on the patio. Now I don't have the space anymore. So that's how my plants did. They were doing pretty good, and then they weren't because of the bugs. And I think I ended up getting the spider mites for that sister friend who I threw some compost away from her that had spider mites, and I had it in my car, and then it ended up spreading from my car, I think, to me, and then ended up spreading onto the plants, which was sad. You see them demons? You see them demons ready to run at me. Ready for me. Hey, Purple X Lioness. It lit down like a living room elevator a la Childish Gambino. Look, it went down like Meet Me in the Trap is going down. Meet Me in the Mall. Is going down. Somebody was smelling delicious. I don't know who that was. I'm not going to ask me more questions. See, this is where sometimes, I say this all the time, and then I don't go live for a while. I used to go live a lot back in the day, and I think during COVID, y'all had nothing else to do. So y'all would talk to me, but now, because COVID is kind of like lifted, and I'm grateful for it, y'all don't be responding to me. So then I'll be sitting here like, hey, what y'all want to talk about? And y'all be like, cricket, cricket, cricket. We just want to watch you, Derek. We want to watch you like you's a reality TV star. That's how some of y'all talk. Y'all talk just like that. We want to watch you, Derek, like you's a reality TV star. And I'll be like, please don't just watch me. Like, actually message me. Let's chat. I'll talk about anything, just about. Tell us more about the podcast. Lord, I talked about it so much earlier. Endangered. You was extinct when I was talking about it earlier. Endangered. The podcast is me and a black man, a black plant biologist named Stephen Jonty, and we are doing melanated botany to talk about black folks and really what it means to be cultivating conversations about blackness and science, right? Blackness and plants. We love plants, and I am a black man, and I cannot change my blackness for nothing. God knows I wish I could. You was sleeping. Oh, you was down under. You should have started off with you was down under. If you are related to the crocodile hunter, any of them Irwins, even if you lie to me and say you are, you get a pass. I love the crocodile hunter. Anywho, I don't listen to Sting or anything that has raised right now because of the crocodile hunter. We're going to keep going. So the podcast, Melanated Botany, is literally just that. We are melanated people talking about plant biology. We're talking about plants. We're talking about science. We're talking about our experiences, right? And this was founded from us meeting and connecting through LinkedIn, and we became a bond, a brotherhood, fellowship. I don't know the words I'm looking. You better be loving my smile. You better be loving my smile. I love a compliment. If y'all just gave me compliments and I just talked all day, now I would talk every day, every week. If I went on live and I had like 6 people giving me compliments. It's okay though. We're going to keep going. Ooh, you threw me off. Ooh, let's see. Melanated Botany. We just had a lot of good conversations, and I was like, these would make good shows. And part of me wishes like we did record some of those conversations where we're talking about plants and life and blackness and what it means to be us, right? And God bless it. We said, let's do it. And again, me and Steven wanted to do a lot of different collaborative efforts, but we couldn't really do a lot because we live in different parts of the world, in different parts of the United States. I think he's in Jersey and I'm here in North Carolina, or maybe he's in Rhode Island. I don't know. But either way, he's not here in North Carolina. So I had to figure out we had to figure out what can we do, and we came up with Melanated Botany to again address those things. In addition to, I want young youth, specifically black youth, to be able to look and point to people and say, those are black plant biologists, those are black scientists, and they're doing the thing that I want to do. And I say that because as a youth, when I was coming up, I couldn't point to any plant biologists in the 90s. I can only point to George Washington Carver, and there was even more than him, but he was the only one I can point to. And when I talked to my family, them trying to be, supportive of my dream, but also showing me the realities of the world we live in, didn't want me to become a plant biologist because they said, how are you going to make money doing that? We're going to see if I can get home before my phone dies. How are you going to make money doing that? And who is black that does that? Like what black people do you know that do that? And I don't want youth to be able to sit in there like I did and be like, I don't know. Like I want them to be in point and be like, this guy, these people, these men, these women, these beings who exist out there, they are doing the darn thing. So that's what the podcast is going to be about. We've already recorded 10 episodes. It drops in May. And thank you, Endangered. You didn't tell me if you were related to any of those Irwins, though. I really wanted that answer. So that's what the podcast is going to be. It's literally a showcase of this us two, our knowledge, our skill set, our personality, our charisma. And like I said earlier in this video, it's hard to be taken seriously as a scientist, as a black man, for me, because I do have charisma, I do have a personality, I do have a spirit about me. I don't have to talk about the inner depth workings of plant science using the terms that us plant scientists know. I can go into it. Sometimes I do forget the words, but I don't necessarily have to, and I can speak at any person's level and get them to understand a topic, because that's my passion also, making sure that people are not so caught up in the science of it all that they don't know what they're talking about, while also acknowledging some people just make up things that sound good because they do acknowledge people don't know what certain science word means. So they say this is alkaline, and the alkaline body is supposed to be what you need because your body's acidic and acid hurts. And people are like, yeah, they don't think about bleach being alkaline, or they don't drink bleach. So it is what it is and ain't what it ain't. But that's the real situation about that. We have overcome so much, him and I, and we want to be able to showcase that. And that's the podcast. So I done talked about a lot of stuff that I showed you on my patio. I answered a couple of questions about some things. I am really trying to get home before my phone dies, because I wanted to make some tea tonight, try to finish my taxes, start my taxes, finish my taxes. Pray that I get some money back this year. There we go. I had to look across the street and go from there. But I wanted to also take a walk because it's a beautiful day. And I haven't walked to Walmart in a long time. And I got up earlier, stood up talking to a friend, and my whole leg cramped up. And I was like, Lord, is this life? I love that bleach example. And making education all available to the masses no matter what comprehension level is so important, and also empathic. I can't speak. I can't read. I can't wait to hear it in May. Get those taxes done and in the past. Yes, I want to get my taxes done. There's a part of me that just really doesn't understand, like, if you know what I've done all year, except for, like, I do my own business. So, like, this thing I do with the Chocolate Botanist, you don't know that, but you know my taxes all year. You have access to everything. Mr. Government, Miss Government, Boss Government. You should be able to access all of my stuff. And I just add in a little here and there and then go from there. Like, if I don't do my own business, I shouldn't have to worry about doing my taxes. My taxes should just be automatically completed. Did I work? Do these numbers look right? And keep it moving. Hey there, Rip Cornish? That sounds like a fake name. You're asking me to be in this video. I really hope I don't regret this, but we're going to see. I tried to accept it. Accept. Now, Rip, I don't know. I have charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. I know I do. But it's hard being black in these streets. Rip, I tried to accept you. I don't know if you need to come out and come back. Maybe I need to send you a request. Invite. For real, most countries just send a bill. Send a bill. Thought I heard something walking near me. Rip, if you're still here, I sent you an invite. Maybe you have to close your app and then come back. Just let me know you're here, and I think I can send you an invite. Hey, Deep Roots. I keep hearing some keys jingling near me. I think it's my own keys. I'm like, something out here? There's like a lot of woods. He's unable to join. There's a lot of woods right here. And I'm always worried about something trying to jump out at me. So I can hear something whining. Actually, I think it's the birds. I'm going to reach out to you, invite you on my podcast, talk about plants and representation. Wade Lee. I made that name all the way up. Wade Lee, you can have me anytime. DM me, and I can send you my email, and we can get it done. And this is the other thing. I'll be on any of y'all shows or podcasts. If y'all want to come out and speak for a fee, I will come out and speak. Let's see. Rip, are you still here? Did you leave? Go live. I'm trying, Rip, because I feel like you have something good to say. There we go. Rip. There we go. There we go. We see you. He left. I don't think he thought I was really going to let him come on. See, this is what happens. See, y'all think y'all going to trump my bluff. Y'all think y'all going to play chicken. And you don't know that I love chicken. Bojangles, KFC. Okay? If it's chicken, it's for me. When God made chicken, hallelujah. I feel you, Jesus, blowing the air. Hallelujah. Chicken was made for me. And if you think you're going to get me to chicken out, you got another thing coming. Okay? Because I refuse to be fried. And you would have to be baked to think you can get over on me. Those are chicken puns, you see. They think they got more box than I do. But they reach him. He's in the library, no talking. Don't stand up for him. There's no future in it. There, he thought he was going to step over me. He thought he was going to trick me. Little old me. 6'2" me. However many pounds I am, me. Anywho. He thought he was going to gobble me up, but he didn't. And he has to get his shots, his rooster shots. So, anywho, I think I'm going to jump off of this now. I've done too much. I've done too much. Rip, I'm just playing. Is he still here? His phone probably did by accident. I'm going to try to apologize to him later if I can find him. Rip, I'm sorry. I just be joking. Anywho, y'all, any last questions before I get off of here? It's 7:16 my time. I'm going to hop off of here. I really at least want to get my taxes started. And I have so many things I need to do. I really just need like 5 assistants, like people that can do several different things and just get them done. And all I got to do is create in the background, and like a person to clean my house. Thanks for the updates. Catch you later. Catch you on the flip side. Okay, 7:17. I'm gonna give us a 7:18 in case y'all got a burning question, and then I'm gonna hop off. Whew. But really, I can't wait till this podcast gets started. Because again, I'll throw a dirty joke. I need y'all to know. I will throw some explicit language into a podcast. And once we get a Patreon really up and running, you pay some money, you'll hear some uncensored Derek. You'll never hear me cuss, but I will talk explicit. What about the X-Men? Oh my God. I watched, so I need y'all to understand. I was thinking like maybe I should do like an offshoot and talk about the X-Men and some TV shows I enjoyed and what they've meant to me and how they impacted my mental health. Because like, this is a real quick side shoot to this conversation. Harry Potter helped me when I moved schools. I went from a school where I knew everybody from K through 5, 6th grade. Before that happened that summer, we moved to another part of town, and I now knew a bunch of people. Didn't know anybody except for maybe like 1 or 2 people. And I was country, and people talked about me because they assumed my orientation and all this other stuff. So Harry Potter helped me. I grew up loving the X-Men. Only got 5% left, so I'm going to have to be quick. But what did this all mean to me? I loved the 90s series, right? Loved it. So when they said they were going to bring X-Men 97 back, I was like, okay, let's do it. X-Men 97, we're going in. Now, I didn't like the artwork at first, so I've grown to love it, but I didn't like it at first. And hey, it was ugly to me. Because I'm used to whatever the style was they were using. I think that Claremont era style. But I'm like, okay, I've watched 5 episodes, Deep Roots, and we can talk about it off of this. The 5th episode, for those of you who have not seen any of the X-Men 97, this is your time to hop off because I'm going to do some spoilers. I don't even care. So if you ain't seen it, go ahead and leave. Seeing the chaos going on was horrendous. And keep in mind, I've read some of the comics, but I watch a lot of like YouTubers who talk about the stories. So I'm really caught up. I used to do a lot of reading on like the wiki pages and the Marvel pages and the DC pages back in the day to learn about all these different comics and to learn these different storylines and see what happened. And then there's YouTubers who really like break it down and show you like the comics and show you what's up or read them word for word, right? To see that Genosha story unfurled, because I was like, okay, Genosha's here. I know the Genosha massacre, but it can't be that bad. And again, for those of you just joining, I'm talking about X-Men 97. So if you don't want spoilers, leave. But to see episode 5 and to see Gambit give his all, Rogue losing 2 of the men she loved, Gambit not knowing at this point that she chose him, it's heartbreaking. To see Scott, Cyclops, slip, the Boy Scout slip, and let the people know how he really feels. And his commentary speaks for what Black people go through and all types of non-cisgender white men go through, where I have to pretend to be normal and I have to pretend that everything's okay and what you define as normal, because if I didn't and I didn't care, the world would be great. And you should be glad I'm not like you. You should be glad that I'm different. So X-Men 97 is hitting on a lot of cool things, and I wish they would say what that head showrunner, whatever his name, did, because at this point it's giving, what could he have done when y'all have not announced it yet? You have not talked about it, and you haven't talked about it, you haven't announced it, and you just are refusing to go into it. So that's where I am with X-Men 97. I've loved all the episodes. I've loved all the references. Like, some episodes are so packed with references, it's making my head spin. Especially in the life-death section of episode 3. There was one, when I was watching somebody talk about it in the Easter eggs, there was one Easter egg I missed on the original watching that I caught when they was talking about another Easter egg. So X-Men 97 to me is outrageously good, stupendously good, and like it's good to the point of DC animated universe level good, because DC animated universe is always phenomenal. Well, I dropped the pizza on the floor. It's a good thing it's still in the plastic. So for those of you just joining, as a quick wrap up, I talked about the plants in my patio. I showed y'all what was going on with the tomatoes I propagated a couple of weeks ago. Started from seed rather a couple of weeks ago. A little frustrated about them, but it's okay. And I took a walk to Walmart and answered some plant questions. So I'm going to go ahead and head in the house. To all of you who are here, India, Emotep, Mary, Kiera, and Alicia, rather. I always want to call Aisha. Alicia, y'all have a good day. Those of you that want to DM me, talk more about X-Men, we can. Deuces.